All right, let's jump right into it. In this explainer, we are going to unlock the absolute truth behind auditory supports for ADHD. You know, we hear so much out there about sound therapy, background noise, and sensory tools, but today, we're stripping away all that confusion. We're going to look specifically at exactly how white noise and ASMR differ as focus supports for ADHD traits, what the actual evidence says about attention and arousal, and finally give you some real practical guidance for picking background sounds without totally overstimulating yourself.
But real quick, before we get into the weeds, tell me if you've ever experienced this. You find the literal perfect background track, right? You have an incredibly productive Tuesday. You are in the zone. But then you put that exact same track on for Wednesday's work session and your brain just completely rejects it. It's incredibly frustrating. But listen, it's actually one of the most common experiences for people with ADHD. The mystery of why our go-to background sounds just suddenly stop working, that's not a personal failure on your part. It is literally a structural feature of how dynamic the ADHD brain really is.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer today. First, we'll cover the background noise myth. Second, white noise, the curtain. Third, ASMR, the gentle handrail. Fourth, matching sound to task. And finally, number 5, the 10-minute test.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the background noise myth, and specifically sound interchangeability.
There is a massive contrast between what we hear online and what the science actually says. You'll constantly see articles framing white noise, brown noise, and ASMR as these totally interchangeable focus hacks. But lumping all these sounds together, that is a huge mistake, because it completely ignores how dynamic the ADHD brain is. The scientific reality is that different sounds serve entirely different cognitive and emotional functions. I mean, your brain needs precise tools for precise moments, and one size absolutely does not fit all.
Moving right along to Section 2, white noise, the curtain, and how it masks distractions. Our source material puts this so perfectly. It says, white noise is like a curtain. It covers distracting sounds so the brain has fewer interruptions to chase. If you think about an actual physical curtain in your house, it doesn't really give you anything fascinating to look at, right? It just hides the distractions outside the window. And that is exactly what white noise does for your ears. It acts as a totally neutral masking agent.
Let's ground this in some recent science. A huge 2024 systematic review and meta-analysis published in JACAP, that's the Journal of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, looked really closely at this. And they found that white and pink noise actually produced small benefits on laboratory attention tasks for individuals with ADHD or high ADHD symptoms. Now, is the effect a magic cure-all? No. It won't work for every single person every time, but it is a real, scientifically documented benefit that we definitely need to take seriously.
And building on that, a 2024 research summary from Oregon Health and Science University, OHSU, totally echoes this finding. They position steady sounds, like your classic white and pink noise, as a potentially low-risk, low-cost support that is absolutely worth further study. The best part? It's highly accessible. I mean, it's something you can literally pull up on your phone right this second as a safe starting point for getting into focus.
So why exactly does this curtain effect work? Well, let's look at the traits. White and pink noise are neutral. They're steady. They mask outside distractions. But crucially, they have absolutely no storyline and zero social meaning. They aren't asking you to look at a screen or follow a plot. For deep attention, honestly, the sheer boredom and lack of texture in white noise, those are its greatest strengths. It simply reduces the contrast between your environment and your work without demanding a single ounce of extra processing power from your brain.
All right, let's pivot to Section 3, ASMR, the gentle handrail, predictable and calming.
Now, on the flip side, ASMR is a completely different sensory profile. It's more like a gentle handrail. It gives the nervous system something predictable, human, and calming to hold on to. So while the curtain is all about blocking things out, the handrail is about active sensory companionship. It's about providing this really safe, anchoring texture for your nervous system.
And the science backing ASMR highlights this difference beautifully. A 2018 study by Poerio and colleagues found that ASMR produced measurable changes in arousal and attention in people who experience it. Plus, research by Roberts in 2021 links ASMR intensity directly to sensory sensitivity. So what does this tell us? It shows that ASMR actually impacts our physiology through sensory stimulation. It's a highly individualized, incredibly sensory-rich experience. Basically, it's vastly different from a universally neutral mask like white noise.
What makes ASMR so incredibly distinct is its texture. It has this sensory richness. Whispers offer a sense of social closeness. Tapping provides rhythm. Brushing actually mimics the physical sensation of touch. This personal attention carries emotional meaning.
Now, that richness is absolutely incredible for emotional regulation. But, as we're going to see in a second, that exact same richness makes it super risky for deep attention, just because it can so easily hijack your focus.
So let's put these two head-to-head for a second. White noise is neutral, it's steady, and it masks distraction. Essentially, it blocks out the world. ASMR, however, is patterned, it has social meaning, and it actively aids in emotional regulation. It adds softness to the world. Now, both of these feel really helpful for ADHD, but make no mistake, they are absolutely not doing the same job. The single biggest mistake you can make is using one when your brain desperately needs the other. Which brings us to our climax here, Section 4, matching sound to task. Context really matters. The most crucial point to take away today is this. You have to stop asking which one is better. I want to challenge you right now to stop looking for a universal, magical fix for your focus. The real question you need to be asking yourself is, better for what? We have got to start treating the ADHD brain dynamically, picking our auditory support based purely on the specific task right in front of us. So here's how you actually apply this in real life. Say your task is deep focus, like reading or solving a really complex problem. White or pink noise is your winning sound here. Keep it low, keep it steady, and if white noise feels a bit too harsh on your ears, try pink. But what if you're doing boring chores, like folding a mountain of laundry or organizing some files? ASMR takes the win here. It provides just enough sensory companionship to make that totally understimulating task way less painful. How about transitions, like starting your workday or getting ready for bed? ASMR acts as a fantastic cue to shift your brain state, and for moments of emotional overload, ASMR wins again. It acts as an external regulator to make your whole environment feel a lot less demanding. But wait, we need to throw a major warning flag here. If you are trying to read or write, voice-based ASMR can completely backfire on you. I really want to validate this struggle, because if you've ever tried listening to a soft-spoken whisper while drafting an email and found yourself totally losing your train of thought, that is not a personal failure. Your brain's language system is literally trying to process the speaker's words while simultaneously trying to process your own. It's just a structural mismatch in language processing. So, if this happens to you, immediately switch to nonverbal ASMR, like tapping, or just go right back to plain old white noise.
Okay, Section 5. Let's make this highly actionable with the 10-minute test and build your personal sound menu.
This is a super simple, low-stakes experiment you can run to figure out exactly how your unique sensory system responds. Step 1. Pick one specific task. Step 2. Put on some white or pink noise for just 10 minutes. Step 3. Switch it up and try nonverbal ASMR for the next 10 minutes. And finally, Step 4. On a completely different day, try some soft-spoken ASMR for 10 minutes.
While you're doing these tests, I want you to rate each sound on 3 very specific metrics. Ask yourself, did I start the task faster? Did I stay engaged longer? And did I feel calmer? Honestly, your answers might completely surprise you. You might discover that the sound that gets you to start a task is totally different from the sound that keeps you going, and neither of those might be the sound that actually calms you down. Tracking these specific metrics is absolute key.
And that leads us to this core mantra derived from our source material: separate activation, focus, and recovery. You guys, this is the ultimate secret to building a real, functioning ADHD sound strategy. You don't just need sounds for focus, you need a dynamic toolkit that specifically addresses starting, staying, and recovering.
So, to summarize what a real ADHD sound strategy looks like. For focus, choose neutral, like white noise. It's boring, but in a highly, highly useful way. For recovery, choose gentle, like ASMR. It's gentle in a really meaningful way. And above all else, be dynamic. Always choose your background sound carefully so you get the support you need without crossing into overstimulation. You want to use the least interesting sound that still manages to help. And hey, we need to completely de-shame the fact that a tool that worked flawlessly at 9 a.m. might need to be totally replaced by 9 p.m. If a sound stops helping, no big deal. Just change it.
Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to just copy someone else's brain. The goal is to design your own sound environment with far less shame and so much more precision. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a quick question to think about, and I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this. For your own personal ADHD focus toolkit, are you team white noise, pink noise, brown noise, or ASMR? Think about what your brain really needs today, go run that 10-minute test, and take back control of your sound environment.